Okay, this is Mr. Peterson again, and this is lesson 6.3, part B for Math 31 at Longview College. In this section, we're going to be translating percent problems and solving them. Just a little reminder of what we learned in the last video. The of in the sentence refers to multiplication, so we replace it usually with a dot. Sometimes we'll use parentheses. And the is indicates the equal sign. In these problems, percentages should be converted into decimal format before the calculations are done. Okay, example 1 here. We're going to be looking at 16, and we want to know 16 is what percent of 64? Now, once we have it written down, then we just divide both sides by 64 to find our answer here. And 16 divided by 64 is 0.25. And once you have your percentage in decimal form, you should convert it into percent form. So 25%, and you do that by moving your decimal to the right 2 places and introducing or restoring the percent sign. Example 2, 280 is what percent, and then the of becomes times 80. So in this problem, to get the variable by itself, you divide both sides by 80. And 280 divided by 80 is 3.5. So your percentage is 3.5, but you need to convert that to percentage format by moving your decimal 2 places to the right and restoring the percent sign. So that would move it around the 5, and you'd have to introduce another 0, 350%. Okay, example 3, what number is 18%? We're going to write that as a decimal by moving our decimal to the left 2 places and dropping the percent sign off. We covered that in the last video. Times 350. Well, all we're going to do is take our calculator and type 0.18 times 350, and that gives 63. Okay, I think we have about 10 examples here, and we're on the 4th one. What number is 250%? That's 2.50. All you do is move your decimal to the left and drop the percent sign, times 60. Okay, when you do that multiplication, 2.50 times 60 is 150. Now we're not looking for a percentage this time, we're looking for a number, so just leave it at 150. You'll notice that I didn't use the variable p because I wasn't looking for a percentage. I use that when I want to remind myself that I have to convert the answer to percent format. Okay, so 40 is 25%. You're going to convert that to decimal of what number, and you can choose to put the dot there, or you can choose to leave the dot off. We'll divide by both sides by 0.25 here. That cancels off, and you get x is equal to whatever 40 divided by 0.25 on the calculator gives, 160. Okay, example 6, 0.4 is 10%. Again, slide your decimal to the left when you drop the percent sign. Of means times. Now if I put a dot here, you can see why that'd be a little confusing. There'd be a decimal point and a multiplication dot next to each other. So you can put the variable in parentheses. That's one way to do it. Or just put it up against it is the best way. Anyway, we're going to divide both sides by 0.10. And that tells us that x has to be 4. Okay, the next problem is going to be a little bit harder answer, and it is more difficult at the start because of the fact that we got a mixed number in the percentage. So I'm going to write it just as it reads to start with. 60 is 5.5% of what number? Now the 5.5 I'm going to convert to decimal. And then I'm going to take the percent off, which will bring you my decimal point to the left 2 places. And we'll divide by 0.055. And this problem doesn't turn out to give a very nice answer, so I'm going to round off here to 1090.9. It's actually a repeating decimal. It goes 90, 90, 90, 90, and you may notice that your calculator itself rounds off the last digit, maybe to a 9 or a 1, depending on how many digits are displayed on your particular calculator. Okay, example 8, 2.8%. We'll convert that to decimal. All I did is slide the decimal 2 places to the left. You have to introduce a 0 there and get rid of the old decimal when you do that. Okay, so that's what happened there. And I made a mistake here. It's supposed to say times there because of the of. And we're going to multiply that by 50 to get our number. So 0.028 times 50 gives 1.4 for x. Okay, example 9, we'll have this one and one more. 8.25%. Since 8.25 is 8.25, you can think of that as 8.25%, and moving the decimal to the left 2 places is what we'll be doing. Okay, what number? There's your unknown. Your equal sign is indicated by the word is, and we have this decimal has to move 2 places to the left, so it's 0.0825 times 400. So when you multiply 0.0825 times 400, you get a value of 33. Okay, one more example here. Example 10. 1600 is what percent, remember to use a p for percent instead of an x, times 6400. The reason for that is it'll remind you at the end that you have to convert to percent format. Okay, divide by 6400 here on both sides. And 1600 divided by 6400 is 0.25. That's your percent. But percentages have to be written as percentages. So you're going to slide your decimal to the right and restore your percent sign. So 25% is our final answer. So I hope this gives you a wide variety of different problems so that you're equipped to do your homework. But if not, then there's plenty of other videos on YouTube that you can consult.